Are leaving the USA because they can't afford America anymore, making $100,000 a year, yet they feel suffocated financially because the price of things keep going up. They keep printing money and the wages ain't going up, all right? Matter of fact, there's job loss and there's cuts and all kinds of stuff going on. So once people leave that kind of environment and they go somewhere else and they realize life is supposed to be lived, it's supposed to be simple, it's supposed to be much more about enjoying your health and your family and your loved ones and your purpose and all of these things, rather than spending most of your life at work.
Hello and welcome to Van TV Media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends to get daily updates.
What's up guys, welcome back to Van TV Media. Guys, if you're new, please just consider subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do upload any story, you'll be the first one to view. Thank you guys for supporting this channel, because if you are not you, we couldn't have not reached where we are right now. So I appreciate so much for the newcomers. Please just subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Also share to your friends and relatives so that they can be our family. For those people who are supporting this channel, who are the returning subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate so much. Continue having the same spirit. So guys, we are going to move to United States. This is our topic today is about the United States. People are now living out, getting out of United States because of some of the reasons are being mentioned here. Some of the people are now tired living in United States and decide to go and check on where they can stay on. They say that life in United States is so difficult, they can't manage to be living in United States. So they have decided to move out from United States and go check another point, another place, or rather another country where they can go and stay. Just watch out on how some of the people have reacted. They have given out the reason why they've decided to move out from United States. They have given the reason why they know that United States is not their right for them to continue staying in. Just watch out, and will be coming inside to talk about what we've listened to.
Americans are leaving America, and it is not for vacation. It's for survival. A growing wave of Americans are packing up, terrified by Trump's dictatorship, Republican fascism, and Democrats' capitulation. Interracial couples, LGBT plus individuals, people of color, and intelligent people in general are seeing their rights replaced with restrictions. In Ireland, U.S. passport applications hit their highest level in a decade, up 60% in just 2 months. France is seeing long-term stay visas for Americans up 20%. Portugal, Spain, UK, relocation companies can barely keep up with the demand. Traffic to Blacksit Global, which helps Black Americans relocate, surged 50% after the election. Some are leaving quietly, like a trans couple in Colorado, because Trump wrongly says there are only 2 genders. States are moving to ban gender care, so they're planning their exit. Google searches for how to leave the U.S. spiked after the election, and real estate deals for Americans in Spain surged before the Golden Visa program was shut down. European culture is different than American culture, and many won't adjust. And of course, Europe has its issues. Immigrations, taxes. Putin expected to take Moldova and then Romania with his eyes on the rest of Europe for the new Russian Empire. But a possibility of another European war is a safer bet than staying in a country that is already a fascist dictator.
Americans are leaving the USA because they can't afford America anymore, making $100,000 a year, yet they feel suffocated financially because the price of things keep going up. They keep printing money and the wages ain't going up, all right? Matter of fact, there's job loss and there's cuts and all kinds of stuff going on. So once people leave that kind of environment and they go somewhere else and they realize life is supposed to be lived, it's supposed to be simple, it's supposed to be much more about enjoying your health and your family and your loved ones and your purpose and all of these things, rather than spending most of your life at work. What kind of a freaking life is it if you don't do what you love? If you do what you love, cool, man, knock yourself out. I do what I love. Most people, 80-something%, don't do what they love. They don't like their job, and if they didn't have to work their job, they wouldn't work their job. So I know if you've watched this far, it's speaking to you. Maybe this is the sign you need to start doing some research to learn how to begin to devise your escape plan and live a better life. Because you know what? If what you're doing is not working, continuing to do the same thing, they call that insanity. You might want to book that flight. See you soon.
Videos of white American people saying that they want to flee America and they don't know where to go. That's right. White Americans are trying to flee America and they don't know where to go. And I never thought that I would live to see the day when white Americans were too terrified to be in the country. I mean, these are people who moved to America, terrorized the Native Americans, or their ancestors terrorized the Native Americans. They made life so hostile for the black people who were stolen from Africa and taken to the Americas to pick cotton. And God knows how the black people survived in America, because what they went through. I've only just been reading the history of slave trade, because they don't teach us that in Africa. Even if they mention it in school, they say slave trade, but you don't actually know the brutality of the slave trade and how much white Americans fought to keep slavery. They fought to keep slavery. And when slavery was over, they were determined to make life impossibly difficult for black people. And life is very hostile for black people, even to this day in America. I remember being in America and being so shocked at just how hostile the whole place feels for a black person. And now I am seeing white Americans finding America too hostile and deciding to leave. And this is the thing that people have never come to accept. And this is it. I'm just a quiet observer, having been born and grown up in Kenya, never really having encountered white people at all. And just going to America and just wondering, wow, like I have never known such hostility. And it's only now I am spending a lot of my time reading history about the slave trade, about the treatment of blacks, and just how much life was truly impossible for a black person, whether in London, whether in Europe, whether in the Caribbean, in the West Indies, in America. And the black people are so resilient in America because they have fought and just continued and just continued. But it's so incredible seeing people asking where they should go and what to do. This is literally what happens to millions of people around the world. People destabilized by American bombs. People destabilized by Americans' foreign policy that for the last however many years has sought to destabilize any countries that looked as though they were rising above the surface and they were on the way to becoming, a somebody. They would destroy their country. Libya, Somalia, and all the covert operations by the CIA in countries around the world, they destroyed them. And now all it took was Donald Trump and Elon Musk, a born-sworn colonizer. We are living through times that our ancestors could never have foreseen.
America is the worst place when it comes to social life. Like, I've been back in the States for about a week now, and I have no idea how people live here. Like every time I've come back to America from either like Asia, Africa, like it's just like I have a reverse culture shock, because it seems like people are just like dead inside. Like, you look at people's eyes and it's lifeless, and then you just like ask people like, oh, okay, today's Friday, what is going on today? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, okay, like, what you been doing? Like, I've been going for like 4 months. Like, what have you been up to? Nothing, man. Just maintaining, you know, man. I'm like, yo, like, what the hell have you been doing? Like, every time I leave, like, I leave 3 months, 6 months, and then when I come back to America, it seems like nothing ever changes. Like, people are still in the same rut that I left them in. Like nothing ever changes, and the people are just like lost. Like, it really looks like people are like zombies.
We left the United States a little over a week ago, and I am so grateful. I'm so thankful to have gotten both of our children, both girls, out of the United States. It is scary over there, and I didn't think we'd be able to leave. We're not the type of people who have a bunch of money. We didn't come from money. I didn't think it was in the cards for us, but we did it, and I'm very proud of us. But one thing that I feel like not a lot of people discuss is how emotional it is. It's emotional in a good way, like, oh, thank goodness we did it, we're out. We're so proud of ourselves, right? But it's also emotional in you're leaving behind everything that you've ever known. The life that you've always lived, the places you've known, the places you've eaten at, the places you've visited, you know, gone. Everything you've known does not exist. That's really hard. We are originally from Texas. We lived there for over 30 years. I did. And then we moved to California, lived there for 2 years, and now we are currently in Albania for a little while, and we'll figure out our next steps. Our end goal is Spain. And life is very different. Life is very different here. It's different from anything we've ever known. It's very emotional. It's very emotional. It's very hard. I've cried a lot. We've only been here not even a week, and I've cried most nights because I think of the memories that we will no longer get to have. I think of the view from outside of our apartment in California and what it might look like in the weather, what it is right now. I think about my family living their life in Texas and going to like H-E-B and Whataburger and just continuing life. And like, I'm not doing that. I think about people walking in and out of Target. Like, it's things like that. I know it seems small, it seems insignificant, but once you cannot do those things anymore because they don't exist where you are, it makes you emotional. So it's been an adjustment for sure, and we're still adjusting. We're just barely getting on a semi-normal sleep schedule, and the memories keep trickling in, and I cry a lot, especially at night when it's quiet and still. It'll be okay, and I know it will. If you'd like to follow me here, we're going to talk about how we did it. We do not, like I said before, we do not come from money. We're not rich. We don't even really have any sort of savings. We just kind of said, let's get out of here, and dipped. There's things that we did that we would have never done before or would condone doing necessarily. You know, we were the type that paid our bills on time and blah, 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 blah. And we did what we had to do. So if you'd like to follow us, feel free to follow, and I hope to get into the good, bad, ugly, and emotional, sad side of leaving and what you can really expect from making such a big move.
Why I left the US and will never go back there. The biggest reason why I will not be returning to live in the US is because it is a failed society. I don't think that Americans realize that the way that they live is not actually normal when you compare it to the rest of the world. It's not normal to not have healthcare. It's not normal to be in crippling amounts of debt from going to school or going to a hospital. It's not normal to be afraid of gun violence, for there to be a threat of gun violence in your school. It doesn't matter if it's a developed country or an underdeveloped country. It's not normal to only have two choices when it comes to politics and who runs your country. It's not normal to have a 79% literacy rate and half the country cannot read above a 5th grade level. My family and I immigrated to the United States when I was 5 years old. And in that time, my mom worked herself to the bone. We barely saw our mother because she was always at work. She never had time for herself. She's barely gone on vacation. Her life has literally centered around work for the last 25 years. And so my mom essentially sacrificed her life and her happiness in order to work. And when I returned to the US after living in Europe for 3.5 years, all I was doing was working. I would wake up super early in the morning, commute for 1 hour, go to work for 8 hours, commute for another hour, and then I would have 2 hours to myself before I had to go to bed in order to do the same thing in the morning again. All for 2 weeks of vacation time. And I want you guys to know that this is not normal. In some countries, the minimum that an employee will get off of work is 6 weeks. In some countries, women get years off to spend with their newborn child. After my mom gave birth to my brother, she was back at work after 2 weeks. When I was going to school in the US, I constantly had anxiety that our school was going to be shot up. And this is not normal. I want you guys to understand it, because when I was talking to my friends who also went to school in the US, they said the exact same thing, that they always had anxiety that someone would come into the school and shoot it up. And so I essentially chose peace when I decided to leave the US. I do not feel any sort of allegiance to this country because the US does not have allegiance to me as a Black woman. Black women are overwhelmingly more prone to experiencing poverty than any other ethnic group in the United States. Black women are also more likely to die in childbirth in the United States. It has one of the highest maternal mortality rates. And so why should I choose to work myself to the bone for decades to get nothing in return, to not even be able to retire comfortably for a country that doesn't care about me?
I'm deporting myself before I get deported. I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home, guys. Please, 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 please. Wish me good luck. Because I've been threatened on this app many times that I'm illegal, I'm going to get deported. I don't have to wait to be deported. I will use my 2 legs and boom, vamos, I'm out. Should be you guys have peace now. I've left the country. I deported myself. Happy now? Okay. Watch out.
We'll be more than happy to help, and for those customers who have already ordered assistance to leave the aircraft, please do remain seated until the aisle around you is clear, and as always,
you know, because America is just ghetto as fuck and has been for quite some time. So this is a very great question that was asked on one of my videos that I did yesterday that got a lot of commentary. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Travel Queen and your favorite Leo. And I talk about how my Black family of 4, we have moved out of the United States, okay? We been gone, y'all. So for all of you guys that are on talking about something, you ain't about to do it anyways, I'm ignoring you. I don't even care about your comment. But what I'm here to do is be a resource for those of you who want this information. So I saw a lot of comments under the video asking, case in point, where are people going? All right. I also saw a comment that was quite interesting and said, well, we aren't accepted most places. Like, where is that information coming from? I find that comments like that oftentimes come from people that have not traveled. They ain't been nowhere but outside their own neighborhood, okay? So the list of countries that I'm going to give you, they are also very welcoming to African Americans. If you feel like you want to stay closer to the United States, then you don't want to obviously go further out to like a Bali or Thailand. But these countries, you want to start by researching what the visa processes are. You want to see what the financial requirements are for you to be in that country legally. Because I would never say, plan this, start planning, and be in a country illegally, all right? No, we're not doing that. So here is a list of countries that you can start researching for yourself and get the information. I'm here as a resource. If you would like to book a consultation with me, you can. All right, here we go. Ghana, Belize, Portugal, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Thailand, Mexico, Bali, Philippines, and Vietnam. Now, some of these places you might be thinking to yourself, what? Wow. See, that reaction, it automatically goes away when you travel to these different countries. And that's why I like traveling so much, because when you travel outside of the United States, you learn that the cost of living is cheaper. You can live way less than what you lived on in the United States. The food, it's much better. They're not sprayed with all of these pesticides and GMO products, right? Oftentimes, when you go outside the United States and stay for at least a month, your health is going to change. The air is different. You know, they judge us really hard in the United States as it relates to our credit. When you move outside of the United States, people don't care about what your credit looks like. And you can go and apply for an apartment in the United States and get denied for a home loan, for a car loan, based off of your credit. That is non-existent in another country. The quality of living and the peace that you experience, even while traveling, and for myself and just living abroad and traveling so much, the peace that I have experienced has been a peace that I have never experienced inside the United States. The freedom that I have experienced by traveling and being outside of the United States has been a freedom that I have never experienced inside the United States. It's been a freedom that I didn't even know that I needed. The quality of life outside of the United States is just better. You know, everything in the United States we know is just big and grand. You know, if you go to McDonald's, you got a Big Mac, you got a large fry, an extra large soda. Why do you need all of that? You don't need all of the stuff that we have accumulated in the United States. You get up, you work your 9-to-5 job, and that is the only thing that we are accustomed to, that we are programmed to understand in our lives, that we are just worth working a 9-to-5 job and that we don't have time to do anything else. There is more to life than just working and living paycheck to paycheck. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I always say that your gifts will make room for you. And I truly believe that. There have been numerous amounts of expats that I've talked to, even myself. Your gifts will make room for you. If you don't have a remote job, okay, I get it. What skills do you possess that you can offer? What service can you offer to people in another country that will bring in a constant income for you living abroad? Ask yourself that. Now, obviously, when you want to move out of the country, this is a research-based decision that you need to do. I recommend narrowing this list of countries down to 2 or 3 places, have your passport ready, and take some time and travel to at least 2 to 3 of these countries to see what feels like home to you. After you do that, then start planning. If you need some additional assistance, I am here as a resource. All of my links, my websites, my Calendly link is in my link tree. You can book a consultation with me, a one-on-one consultation with me, to get a lot of your questions answered that you maybe just don't have time to research, or you're just lost and you need some inspiration. Hit me up. All of my links are in my bio. I hope this list was helpful to you.
We are very, very seriously starting to consider leaving the United States, and I just want to hear from someone who's done it. Where did you go? How did you decide that's where you're going? How did you get a visa? Do all of that? I'm definitely researching on my own, but if there was someone I could connect with who's done this before, I just would love to utilize you as a resource. And yeah, if we can help one another, please.
So guys, I hope you've understood on what some of the people who are in United States. We have some white people who are living in United States, but right now they have said no, they are leaving from United States because of 2-3 reasons that have made them to say that they are no longer staying in the United States. One of the reasons is that the high cost of living, whereby you see the prices of goods in United States is so high. Most of them, they are not able to afford buying some of the stuffs, food stuffs, some of the clothing in United States. So they have seen that these things can make them to be worsened to them. So they are supposed to get a place where they are supposed to go and stay and recover from it. Whenever you see some of the rent, some of the people in United States, they can't afford to have a house of living. Where most of the time you see there are some of the clips we've seen, people are just staying outside. They are just living outside. Some of them have their cars. They have decided to live inside the car instead of them renting a house, because you see some of the time you may find a house. To get a house, it will be some $1,500, which may make someone not to afford to stay in. You see, other thing is just health care, whereby the health care in United States, it has become so hard for them. When someone becomes sick, it may find him or herself not having funds, or not having money, not having health care to get himself to recover. So these are some of the things that are making them to get out of United States. Education cost, we have whenever one has children and want the children to be educative in United States, it becomes so difficult for him or her to take his or her kids to school. So this is things that has made them to be expensive, so for them to move out of United States. When we come back to healthcare, you see, United States has one of the most expensive healthcare system in the world, whereby you see even with insurance, many people struggling with the medical bill or limited access to care, pushing some to countries with universal or more affordable health care. So this is some of the things whenever you are in in a country, but you can't afford to treat yourself whenever you become sick, it may be a problem to you. So some of them, they have decided not to continue staying in United States because their life is so difficult for them to do their day-to-day activities. A work-life balance, whereby Americans' work culture often emphasizes long hours and limited vacations time. Other countries may offer more paid leave, shorter workers, and better work-life balance. So you see, in United States, they are saying that the work culture of United States is long hour working, but limited vacations, whereby you see someone may need to get to a country where hours is short and can be able to get leave, can be able to get off, so that he can do other things that he might need to do. We have a political and social climate. Some people feels disillusioned or stressed by politicized policies, gun violence, or racial and social tensions. Guys, you see, in the United States, it has been ranked top in racial, whereby you see some of the people, white people, are racial to the black people. So whenever you see black people decide to come back from United States to his country, Africa, some of the reasons may become racial, whereby you see you are only a black man or you are only a black woman in a community where there are so many white people. Those white people may they may have a racial upon you, so it may force you to get away from them. So those are some of the things that are makes people from United States to leave United States and come back to Africa. because most of the people here during those days, United States was seen as the best country to go and stay in. United States was seen as the country whereby whenever you get in, the work that you may be found there, the work you may be paid more money compared to the country that you are staying in here in Africa. But these things has been gone differently, whereby in the United States it has been seen that you may get some of the money, but those money may not sustain you in terms of food, in terms of rental house, in terms of shelter. So it may be difficult for you to stay in, rather than you may choose to return back to your country Africa, so that you can be able to survive with that little money that you may be getting in the country that you are in. So those are the things that have made most people to decide not to continue living in United States and decided to come back to Africa so that they can continue with their living. So guys, those are what we had for now. Just subscribe to our channel if you've not subscribed to our channel, and turn on your notification bell, so that in case we do upload any story, you'll be the first one to view. And guys, thank you so much, and let us meet in the next episode.